Okay, welcome to the third one of these videos. So far you've looked at pencil shading and you've looked at Biro drawing with Mr. Miller. So in this video we're just going to be looking at using mixed medias. Now obviously I'm trying to think of things that are easily accessible, so I'm not looking at paints and things like that. So I've decided I'm going to do a drawing of a skull because it links in with portraiture, and obviously you've got to do that portraiture architecture. With the mixed media, I'm trying to think of things that you've got around the house. So I've got some package paper from parcels. Now, if you're anything like me, you've probably getting 1,000,001 parcels arriving from Amazon and things all the time. I've also just done a coffee stain on the side because obviously you might not have paints, but obviously we can get a little bit of colour in that way. Now, as I said, this is all going to be about mixed media, so I'm going to be using pencil, I'm going to be using biro, okay, and I'm also going to use a little bit of fine liner as well. Okay, just to sort of show you, trying to get different ideas into a picture. Now I've split the picture up like this already, so I've got my skull drawn out, I've got the paper, the brown paper in here, I've also got the coffee in here as well. I'm going to have pencil on the white part of the paper, and then I'm going to have the two pens on these sections as well. Okay, just to sort of try and get it to work together. So this is the image that I'm working from. Okay, so again, just an image from the internet of a skull. Okay, so a bit like last time, we're just going to sort of start off. Okay, so I'm going to start off by just sort of doing some little bits of shading on the skull itself, okay, on this section. Okay, so obviously I've explained lots and lots of bits so far in the previous video that I did about pencil shading, so a lot of this one's going to be sort of sped up a bit for you. Okay. Right, okay, so I've done a little bit more of the pencil. I've sort of kind of worked side to side. If you remember from the eye video, there's obviously a lot more sort of detail that can go into this, which I'll put in at some point. But obviously I'm quite keen to start looking at the mixed media idea of it, otherwise it's just a pencil drawing. So I've kind of got two different sides, which is why I went for the eyes first, apart from the fact that I like them. So I'm going to start thinking about where the images sort of overlap. Okay, so I'm going to use biro on this, I'm going to use the fine liner on that bit. So now if you remember from Mr. Miller's video, obviously when we're shading with pen, we can do it in different ways. So I'm going to mainly look at sort of cross hatching. Okay, so I've obviously got a very, very dark bit here. And I can effectively just sort of colour it in black if I want to. Obviously I'm just making sure I'm joining the bits together. Now one of the things obviously with using a pen is I can't rub it out, so I've got to be very specific with where I'm drawing things. On the pen sections, obviously if you do want highlights, if you have got any bits of paint and stuff at home, just use a bit of white paint, like acrylic, to add any little highlights and stuff in. Okay, I'm not going to do that on this one. So obviously if I want to leave them bits of light coming through, I've just got to leave them. Okay, so obviously not do any shading on them. So I said I'm doing sort of a cross hatch. Okay, it's not a proper cross hatch, it's a bit of a cross hatch with a bit of a scribble in it as well. Okay, but everyone's got their own sort of different drawing styles. Gonna darken that bit a bit more. a bit like when you were using the pencil or on the eye drawing. Obviously, the direction of the pen is very, very important. Because unlike the pencil, I can't obviously blur that out. Now the other thing as well, what's actually starting to happen to me, is that I'm getting pencil on my hand. If you don't want that to happen, obviously you can just use a bit of paper or something underneath your hand. So I've got a little bit of the brown paper left. A tissue or something would work well for that as well. Alright, so my drawing's obviously moved on a bit since just a second ago, just so you're not sort of sat watching me for ages doing something I've already explained. And when I've started to look at the other section, which was done with the coffee, now unlike the brown paper section, obviously where I just ripped it and put it in like that, the coffee I've allowed it to run, so it's actually went into some very unusual shapes in different areas and things like that. So for this one, I'm going to use one of the fine liners. Now obviously you can just use another biro if you wish. Okay. And obviously they look a little bit different in terms of how dark the fine liner is, but the same sort of shading principles apply. The only main difference is it's a bit harder to get things like a scratchy line with the fine liners than it is with the biro, which is one of the reasons I'm actually only using it on a small section. But as well, because it's so dark, it looks really nice against that coffee stain. Okay, especially since the coffee stain has different tones and stuff in it, that works really, really well.